Hello, my name is Audrey Gordon, and I'd like to welcome you to the 23rd day of the Dataverse Advent Calendar. Today we have a very exciting special guest, and this is Jason Huang. And Jason is a program manager at Microsoft, where he's mainly focused on no-cliff analytics and insights for Dataverse. He developed and implemented multiple features for Synapse Link, including export data in Delta Lake format, access Dataverse choice label with Synapse, read incremental updates, etc. Jason is an expert in bridging Microsoft Power Platform to Azure data. So I'm actually going to turn it right over to him as he goes into his introduction of Azure Synapse and why it's important for you to think about or understand Azure Synapse Link for Dataverse. And then he's going to even help you set it up. So enjoy the introduction, the use cases that you might want to consider, and the details on setup. And I'll be seeing you again tomorrow on the 24th day of the Dataverse Advent Calendar. Take it away, Jason.
Hello, this is Jason Huang. I will go through what is Azure Synapse Link for Dataverse and why should you consider using it. As you can imagine, Dynamics 365 and modern-driven business apps are generating massive amounts of operational data on a daily basis. And these data have great potential to empower your business, but data can drive profit per activity if and only if you can find ways to properly consume them. And we all know data extraction, transformation, and movement is never easy, and running on analytics on top of it, on near real-time data, is even harder. So, instead of asking the user to manage the ETL, identify the data, and allocate the computing resource, we introduce an end-to-end way to do more with your data, Synapse Link. Synapse Link for Dataverse will help you export your Dataverse data to Azure Data Lake storage and connect to Synapse Workspace under your own Azure subscription. With several clicks, you should be able to enable the Synapse Link in your Dataverse portal, then turn on Synapse Workspace to get everything ready within a few minutes. And after building a link from Dataverse to Synapse, all the data will be synchronized and kept refreshing in near real time. Then, the Synapse Workspace will be a secure and isolated place for you to consume your data. We have seen many customers using Synapse Link to do lots of things. The top 4 common use cases is first, build their own cloud data warehouse by taking Dataverse data from different environments and mixing with external data. Second, conduct advanced analytics such as risk assessment, churn rate prediction, or discover more sales opportunity. 3. Use built-in Azure machine learning and big data tools to do sentiment analysis or model prediction. 4. Build complex interactive operational reports on top of the Dataverse data. So now let's hear the voice from one of our customers to see how Synapse Link empower his business.
As a data-driven organization, Degrees of Change is laser-focused on building effective programs that maximize positive outcomes for our students. We leverage technology to provide personalized support to our program participants, and we relentlessly measure and evaluate the effectiveness of our efforts. Over the past few years, we've migrated a range of data sources to Dataverse, which now acts as a single source of truth for our program data and unlocks all the capabilities of the Power Platform. Students apply for our programs and stay connected with us through a Power Pages portal. Canvas Power Apps allow hundreds of volunteers to securely review and score more than 1,000 scholarship applications each year. And model-driven apps enable our staff across 7 cities to monitor and stay in touch with more than 400 students across 15 college campuses in 5 states. Power Automate allows integrations across all those apps simplifies tedious tasks, and improves our communication with students. So the Power Platform has allowed us to do all of this with a very small team of one IT staffer, two citizen devs from our program operations team, and me, who also has a few other responsibilities as CEO of the organization. I was able to learn what I needed, create a Synapse workspace in Azure, and configure Synapse Link in just a couple of hours. And once you're set up in Azure, you can see here how quickly you can connect to Synapse, select the tables to sync, then jump over and discover them in your Synapse workspace and easily surface your data in an auto-generated SQL script. So with just a little effort, we were able to begin migrating our existing SQL views into Synapse. And as you can see here, mostly copying, pasting, and making small tweaks to the code so that we could surface those views to Power BI and other apps through the Synapse serverless SQL pool, which will be more cost-effective than the dedicated Azure SQL Server we've been running. We're getting back to where we started, but now we're beginning to discover how much more is possible in Synapse. So every year, our community volunteers review and score over 1,000 scholarship applications for our flagship program. We're all about identifying and investing in leaders who are often overlooked in the traditional college process, so we work hard to avoid that bias. But when volunteers are reading thousands of pages of essays, there is always the risk of overlooking students with potential. And we never have the time in our decision meetings to discuss every student who applies. So, working with Jason, Sabine, and Melinda, we've started to build out a custom AI model that will combine text analysis of essays with the wide range of quantitative measures that we collect to help identify applicants who may have similar characteristics or express themselves in ways similar to our students who've been successful in the past. While this is never going to replace the holistic human review we do and the thoughtful discussions that we have to make decisions, it might add one more layer to identify a student for consideration who might otherwise have been overlooked. So this model has a ways to go, but you can get a sense here of how Synapse will allow us to use Apache Spark to build, train, and test a basic AI model to use free-form applicant essays to predict program fit using the tens of thousands of applications we've evaluated over the past 20 years. And we can do it all right within Synapse.
Okay, so the next question you will be asked is how to set up Synapse Link. Since Azure Synapse Link is taking your Dataverse data to your own Azure subscription, there will be 3 major steps. The first step is to create the required Azure resource under your account. The second step is to create a link under the PowerMaker portal. The third step is to link the analytical and visualization tool to your workspace or storage account to consume the data. Next, we will show several demo videos to see how it's gonna work. This is a demo to show how to create all required Azure service if you want to use Azure Synapse Link. The first step is to create a resource group. Then you can easily manage all your Synapse Link related service under one place. Please make sure the region for all your Azure service must be under the same region as your Dataverse environment. Then the next step is to search storage and create an Azure Data Lake storage account to keep your exported data. Make sure it is under the right resource group with the same region as your Dataverse environment. And only make sure to enable hierarchical namespace, then you can leave the rest of the setting as default. Also, it is required to enable public access from all networks as your network security setting. After the deployment complete, the last service you're gonna use is Synapse Workspace. So search Synapse to find Azure Synapse Analytics. As the same as storage account, please make sure it is under the same resource group with the same region as your Dataverse environment. And please make sure to link this workspace to the storage account you just created. It's going to take a few minutes to finish the deployment, and when it's complete, you are all set. The first step is to create Synapse Link for Dataverse to export transactional data for analytics and reporting. You can select your Azure subscription, resource group, storage account, and enable Synapse Workspace in this step. Next, you can choose tables to import. In this demo, we export online purchase records from Dataverse generated by Power Apps. This takes a few seconds to set up the Synapse Link. After the setup, you can check the sync status by clicking the Synapse link. Once it shows active, you can view your data in Azure Data Lake storage. Select the containers, find the right folder. Each table is stored in a separated folder. You can also access Synapse Workspace by clicking another shortcut. The table wheel will be created, and you can view top 100 rows by using auto-generated script. In Synapse, you can not only use SQL to view and modify the table, but also use Spark to consume the data. In this demo, we read the exported Dataverse data and read the external table, including in-store purchase record. Then we apply filter, drop columns, and append two tables to generate a complete purchase record from different resources for Power BI reporting. You can also view the result table in Synapse Workspace. After finishing the data process, you can get your data from Synapse Workspace for your Power BI report by choosing the right connector. Then select the right workspace. In Storage folder, you can find the combined purchase record table. You can also preview the data and modify the data type for each column. Then you can visualize your order count in each quarter, check the distribution across online and in-store purchase. You can also visualize your revenue in each month to help you make better business decisions.